So, good evening. Um, we have a hypothetical problem of, let's say, company company A, who is a coffee producer, producer wants to become a more sustainable business. How can they do it? So, company A, who is a coffee producer, wants to become a more sustainable business. The question is, how can they do it? Now, in order for us to assess the particular conditions of the case, we need to ask questions. And it is very important for us to ask the right questions in order for us to get the right answers. Because most of the time, the answers are already there, especially with the businesses. But in order for us to extract the necessary information that we need, we must ask proper questions. With the case of the coffee producers, you can ask about their profitability, their existing suppliers, their entire supply chain, their margins, their goals, aspirations, and everything. But for the sake of this shortened example, we can say that how are you sourcing your product or where are you sourcing your product? And they can answer that they are sourcing from Laguna. And their purpose about that is that they figured out that it is way cheaper in Laguna compared to other locations because there are a lot of farmers there and there are a lot of competitors within that area, and the location is nearer to the metro, which is the primary location of trade. Now, as you can see, we already mentioned the three. We identified the key element, which is sourcing from Laguna. We identified that the purpose of the key element is that it is way cheaper in Laguna compared to other locations, and the reason why they are doing that, or the significance of that, or the key evidence that we can say that it is a valid point is that the location is way more advantageous, or maybe they have warehouses in that location that is a primary source for the raw materials that they need. So it is more like an organization of thoughts and answers with regards to how you will be able to connect the element with its intended purpose and try to figure out what is the evidence or the reason behind this particular element and this particular purpose, because sometimes they know the purpose that they want, but their elements or their key factors that they're trying to connect with is not actually connected. So it is very important for us to identify these three fundamental aspects of analyzing a particular case study. Now, for the case of, for example, we are asking about the profitability, profit. It is a key aspect of their business, for example, that they are saying that. But the reason why they are more into the profitability aspect of it is that the purpose of that is they want to serve to serve serve more customers. Now, if that is the case of the reason why it is a fundamental fact of their business that profitability is very important, we can assume that the connection behind the profitability and the customer-oriented approach or the expansion of their business, because this is more of an expansion, market expansion aspect, is that they observe that the market of coffee of coffee is growing. Now, if we are going to use these sets of answers from our case study or our learning partner, we can be able to now connect each other. For example, they are sourcing from Laguna because it is way cheaper, and in order for us to identify that it is a well-proven fact, they have this particular, or no, the location contributes to the cheaper cost of the raw materials, for example, the coffee bean that they are purchasing. Now, because it is way cheaper, we can assume that this is somehow correlated to their intended profitability. So the more that your product or your raw materials are cheaper in order for you to produce a product, you can further assume that you can maintain that particular aspect of their business, but do something else on the side in order for you to assume this higher form of profitability, larger margins, more favorable financial conditions. So we can assume that since their raw materials are cheaper, by reducing their cost, they can achieve profitability. And with that profitability, they can expand and serve more customers. And it is correlated to the growing market. So they want to grow their business because the market is actually growing. So they are also assuming that since the market is growing, and if they can expand their business, they can achieve more profit. And with that profit, they can probably source from other locations. It will always depend on how you interpret the business based on the facts provided to you, by the information that is provided to you, the data that is provided to you, or you can basically assume on the things that you think are fundamentally true, or the things that are, could be conceived as or perceived as vital in the aspect of analysis in this particular case or in a particular case. So this is something that you can actually extract from this particular table, an interconnected map later on.